Hello again. I am Sage, or Angela, whichever name you want to call me. Again, Sage is my magic name, Angela is my birth name, so I'm good with either one. We are, for this Witchy Wednesdays, we're going to do part 2 of the Pagan Journaling Challenge for the month of September. So we're going to do questions 7 through 13 today. Let's get started. Number 7. I have my list pulled up right here, that's why you're going to see me look that way. Number 7. Do I work with deities? If yes, who and why? If not, why not? I do work with deities. I have for a very long time. It's hard to remember because it's been like 12 years, but I believe the first deity I worked with was Bast, from Egyptian mythology. That, or either the goddess Nyx from Greek mythology, who's not so much a goddess as she is a primordial personification of night. One of those two is definitely my first. They were definitely my first two. Bast has always spoken deeply to me because of my love of cats and because she's a protector of women and things like that. So, like, I don't know how well you can see. That's a little Bast on my necklace. I have a little Bast in her cat form right here. Ooh, pretty. And in my altar tour, you saw this little plush Bast who is just out of view, and my Bast incense holder, which is right here. You can see the end of it here. I don't want to pick it up because there's ash on. So I have multiple representations of Bast. She's very motherly and kind and protective. So Nyx, as I mentioned, is another one I work with a lot. She and Anubis, who I will get to in a moment, have both helped me a lot with my fear of the dark. I've been afraid of the dark since I was a child because my vision at nighttime is so much worse. I've worn glasses or contacts since I was like 8. Did have LASIK done 10 years ago? Wait, let me think. More than that. 13 years ago? It's been a while. But my vision was never 20/20 after the LASIK. I actually had 2 LASIKs done. The second one was like 4 months after the first one. But the point is, it still even holds to this day. As it gets darker, my vision gets blurrier. So once the lights are out, nothing has definite lines and shapes. Everything has blurred edges. I mean, it's blurred all along, but definitely the edges are blurred. So even something big like a dresser, when edges are blurred like that, they look like they're moving. And when you're a child, that's really hard to get past and not be freaked out. And even as an adult, I have to sort of talk myself down sometimes and, you know, rationalize it out. But Nyx and Anubis have helped me with that. Nyx is rather mysterious. She doesn't come to me often, but she does sometimes. Who else? Anubis is actually the first deity I felt was truly, like, connected to me, like, completely connected. I wasn't looking for another deity, but I was doing a tarot spread someone had made that was themed around talking to death and asking death questions. And after I drew the card, before I started interpreting my cards, I thought, you know, it might be fun to call on a deity who's associated with death. And Anubis originally was the god of death in Egyptian mythology, but then Osiris took over that. But he was still very much, Anubis was still very much associated with death. He is the one that weighs your soul, your heart, actually, in Egyptian mythology, against a feather to see where you're going when you die, and see if you're worthy. And then he's also the god of the afterlife in Egyptian mythology, so he's still very much associated with death. So I decided to just call on him because he kind of struck me as the one I was most interested in for the various death deities. And he responded. And he helped me interpret my spread. He basically he was the one sort of putting the answer in my head as I looked at each card to interpret the questions. And I felt this just intense connection with him. And he called me his daughter. And I already had a strong feeling that I've had past lives in Egypt. But this actually solidified it more. I believe in my past life, more than one past life in Egypt. I believe I haven't done a huge study of ancient Egyptian culture, so I'm not 100% sure like what I could have been, but I feel I was devoted to Anubis, definitely. He is probably my closest deity relationship right now. I've worked with several others. I worked with Aphrodite, I've worked with Persephone, I've worked with Lilith. I've worked with mainly Greek and Egyptian. Lilith doesn't fall in either of those, but I've worked with mainly Greek and Egyptian. Greek mythology I've been fascinated with since I was a child. I read books on Greek myths when I was a child and always loved it. And then Egypt, like I said, pretty certain I had past lives there. I'm certain, actually. I also have a bit of an interest in Celtic mythology, and I have an interest in Norse mythology as well. Just mythology in general interests me, so deities are really interesting to me. Number 8. Now that we took that long answer, number 6. Number 8 is how would I like to change or improve my daily practice. Really, I would just like to improve it overall in consistency and increase what I do. I would like my daily practice to be tied in with the moon phase too, but my biggest issue I deal with is my medical issues, chronic migraines and some other medical issues, and they make it really hard sometimes to have the energy to do the things I want to do in my daily spiritual life. I pretty much always meditate. It's rare for me to go a day without meditating. Most days I pull tarot or oracle cards. I usually, when I'm meditating, I also sit at my altar and, which is right here now, and burn incense. But I don't spend as much time with my spirit guides and deities as I would like. I'm often very exhausted, so yeah. Number 9, what are my top 3 resource books and why? I don't have any resource books. I just don't. When I told you guys in the last video I started out as a Wiccan on my path, and when I first became Wiccan back in the early 2000s, I did buy a lot of books. I have a shelf of books in there, and almost all of them are Wicca related. But I don't use any of them as resources anymore. If there's something I want to look up, I just look it up. I have a Pinterest board that I keep a lot of like tips and things on, little things like, you know, what type of magic is best at each moon phase, correspondences for each day of the week, like things like that I would need to reference. I generally keep those on Etsy or excuse me, yawning a lot, which I've already kept like 3 yawns from coming through, is a pre-sign to migraine. Anyway, I don't look at books for reference anymore. I use the internet. And anything I think I want to reference frequently, I either save to my Etsy, to my Pinterest board, or I have an electronic book of shadows that I put it in. So That's my resources. My favorite pagan authors and why are they my favorites? That one's gonna be hard to say because I haven't read any new pagan books in a while. I still pretty much just have the ones from the early 2000s. I have a long wish list on Amazon of pagan books I want to get. I do like some of Constantinos's work with like Nocturnal Witchcraft and his Nocturnal Grimoire. He can be a little cheesy when it comes to the goth thing, but overall I respond well to his emphasis on the dark and the shadows because that's what I'm drawn to. The moon is what I'm most connected to, not the sun. Glad the sun is there, it gives us life, but I don't need to see it. Edin McCoy, Edain is her first name, is one I have a few books from that I enjoy. Scott Cunningham, of course. Who else? I can't think of who else. I enjoyed DJ Conway's Dancing with Dragons. I just don't like how she tends to word stuff as if this is how you have to do it. Like, this is the only way to do it. And I don't believe that about pagan, Wicca, witchcraft. I don't believe there's only one way to do your path, regardless of what of those you fall under. These are paths we make ourselves. So if someone tells you you have to do it this way, that's just their way. And they're trying to push their way on you. Don't let that happen. I don't think I have any pagan books over here with me right now. Dancing with Dragons was the last one I read. And I read it like 10 years ago or more, but I just reread it recently. Who else? I don't know. It's hard to answer that one since I don't have any current books I've read. I do have quite a few on the wish list though, so hopefully that will expand one day. Let's see. Number 11. What one issue within the pagan community annoys or angers me and why? Judgment and assholes. It goes along together. I didn't expect the pagan community to be full of closed-minded, judgmental assholes. And I still wouldn't say that it's full of them, but there's a lot of them. Like, a lot. I know a lot, actually know quite a few witches and pagans that call on, like, angels. Some even work with Jesus and Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. And I have seen so much hate directed at them because of it, and saying that they're not real pagans because they use, you know, Christian deities. Well, why are Christian deities any different than using Egyptian deities or Hindu deities or Greek deities? Why is that any different? It's not. It's literally not. What it is these people have their own hatred toward Christianity and they're projecting it on that other person. And that's not right. Like, it's not your place to judge someone else's pagan path and tell them whether they are or are not pagan. That's not your place. First of all, your attention should be on your own spirituality, your own life, your own connection with deity, the divine, God, goddess, the universe, whatever you call it. You need to focus on your shit, not other people's. You really need to take a look internally. Sorry about that, I had to grab some water, my throat was getting real dry. Anyway, if you're one of those people judging and saying someone's not a pagan or not a witch or whatever, get over it. It doesn't affect you. It literally does not affect you. So if you're bothered by it, that's your own shit. It has nothing to do with that person you're judging. Literally nothing. Some of the absolute nicest, kindest, sweetest, pagans I've come across are the ones that work with angels and Mary and maybe Jesus even. And it's ridiculous that they're persecuted by our own community. Another judgment I see a lot is that you can't worship gods from multiple pantheons. I actually saw someone who, in a social group I'm in for pagans, that worships all Greek gods. She's very, into the Greek mythology and the Greek pantheon, and that's awesome for her. But she actually takes offense to people having deities from multiple pantheons. She says that it somehow lowers her path because she's put so much work into her path being only Greek. And that's bullshit. It's 100% complete and utter bullshit. Complete, total, utter bullshit. It doesn't affect her path. It absolutely does not. If I want to worship Greek gods and Egyptian gods and Hindu gods, which by the way I have worked with some Hindu gods. I've worked with Ganesha, Kali. I don't think I've worked with any others really. Just those two mainly. If those gods are willing to work with me, if my patron deity Anubis isn't telling me, hey, what are you doing? Like, you can't be going into other pantheons, then what is it to you whether or not I do that? If Anubis is willing to work with me, and Nyx is willing to work with me, and Ganesha is willing to work with me, and Odin is willing to work with me, then who are you to tell me I can't work with them? You're not. You have no say over my path. No say. Just as I have no say over your path. So, you can tell I'm a little passionate about that issue. It drives me insane how many people in the pagan community want to control other people's pagan paths. It doesn't affect you what others do in their pagan path. Unless they're trying to harm you, it doesn't affect you. It just doesn't. So, work on yourself. Stop paying attention to what others are doing to the point that you're getting outraged about how others are living their life and how somehow that's diminishing yours. It's not. That's your own insecurities. If other people, what they're doing diminishes yours. So, next two questions deal with spells. Number 12 is what are my favorite types of spells and why, and number 13 are what are my least favorite types of spells and why. So let's talk about those. I don't do a lot of spells. I really don't. My favorite types of spells though are simple, easy, let me burn a piece of paper, let me light a candle, and put some intention into it, things like that, because I don't feel magic has to be elaborate. Now, if you like elaborate ceremonial magic, you like getting dressed in magical garb and casting a circle and, having 5 herbs and 3 incenses and 2 oils and a whole bunch of stuff for your, crystals and all of that for your spells, then go for it. If that's what makes you happy, do it. For me, it's not necessary. I prefer a much smaller collection. I prefer more simple, easy to do spells that don't require me to go to 3 different stores for materials for them and 2 hours of prep work, and I don't change clothes for spells or rituals. I wear what's comfortable. What I really try to do is just incorporate magic and my spirituality into my daily life, just throughout the day. So meditations, doing tarot and oracle pulls, lighting incense and just kind of relaxing, breathing it in and focusing on my breath for a while, things like that. So I don't feel the need to like separate magical from mundane. I don't want to. I want my magical life to be incorporated into my mundane life. So, if that makes sense. That's one of the reasons that I prefer the simpler, easier spells, because it feels more like it's just a part of my daily life, which is what I want it to be. Others want their magic life to be separate from their mundane life because they want their magic life to feel like more special and big, and if that's you, go for it. I see how that's appealing, and it doesn't bother me at all that others like to do that. I prefer to have mine more incorporated in daily life, so that it just feels like it's all one life and not, you know, two different things. So, that's my thoughts. Hope I didn't ramble too much. Fairly certain I got a little ranty at that question of what angers me in the pagan community. That's really the biggest thing that bothers me, is just the judgment. I've seen so much. I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it in tarot communities. You know, if you don't read tarot exactly like this, you're not a true tarot reader. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. There is no such thing in the pagan world at all, regardless of what your path is, whether it's Celtic, shamanistic, working with fairies, whatever. There is no such thing as only one right way. Now, if you do choose a specific path, like say, is it Gardnerian Wicca? That's a path? I don't know. Or like, there's an online school called Sacred Mists. I tried them for a little while and didn't like it. They call the path that they've created the Celtic Fairy Path. And if you choose to follow that path, then yeah, there's probably things within that path that you need to do to be like considered to be part of that path, right? But especially for those of us that don't have a specific path, we kind of make our own way. There's absolutely no such thing as only one way to do things. And I think even in most paths, there are ways to customize it and make it your own, instead of saying you have to do this or you have to do that. So, just my thoughts. I wish you all the best. Oh, I didn't explain. The reason I'm in a different setup today is because Hurricane Irma just came through, and we were not sure what kind of winds we were going to get, what kind of damage we were going to get, and the patio doors back there, if you remember, my computer was like right next to them. It was up against that wall, actually. Wait a minute. That wall. You can still see this little board up on the wall that was above my desk. So I was like right against that wall, and our computers are kind of like our livelihoods and our lives and like everything, so we didn't want to take a chance on our computers being ruined by like water damage or debris or anything, since we didn't know how bad it was gonna be. So we decided to try to lessen that by moving our computers as far away from the glass and outside as possible, to, you know, that way if something happened and maybe that glass shattered, hopefully, you know, nothing would happen to our computer still. Of course, we ended up not getting that bad at all. There's a lot of tree branches down, power did go out. There's still quite a few people in the city that don't have power, actually. Mainly from like transformers blowing and like tree branches hitting power lines and things like that. So, nothing major though, thankfully. So we haven't decided if we're going to keep our desks here, just because it's a pain in the ass to move them back. or if we're gonna move them back, so we'll see. Alright, thank you all so much for joining me. I appreciate your time so much. I keep feeling the urge to say I love you all, but then I'm like, I always feel like that's cheesy when people say that, but now I want to say it, so, because I feel that way. I truly appreciate you being here, so I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.